Oh, and welcome back to Carsten Uncut. I want to dedicate this episode actually to a good friend of mine called Arndt Hungerberg, who suggested to me to maybe speak about another topic called empathy. Empathy is not just a buzzword, but it's actually something that will make you more successful, both in business and in life, and it matters actually a lot. So, have you ever felt like you were truly understood by somebody, that not somebody just listened to your words, but has actually really understood what you were going through or what you have on mind and what you're trying to solve? Well, that's actually what empathy is all about. And in today's world, it's not just a soft skill, it's actually a superpower because being empathetic will enable you to actually lead better and do also better business, but also just be a better person. And it doesn't matter if it's you're negotiating a deal or you're just talking to a friend, empathy can be the difference that will keep you connected and also will be the difference that can help you resolve a conflict better because you actually understand what the conflict is all about. If you look at the Wikipedia definition of empathy, it says the ability to perceive another person's perspective, to understand, feel, and possibly share and respond to their experience. Well, let's go a little bit beyond just the textbook. I find it always nice, but empathy is really, it's about being present. It's about you being you and also making clear that you actually genuinely care. And that is, I think, the most important piece that we can talk about here. So when we look at empathy, I would say it starts with active listening. That means that you're not just hearing words, but you try to understand them, right? Tune into the tone, the body language, everything that the person is transmitting to you. Somebody sits in front of you with crossed arms, well, you probably have already somebody that is in a slightly defensive position. So how do you get over that, right? And I think that's one of the most important pieces that you need to do, and I think also one of the most important misses that I see in business almost on a on a daily basis. People are not actively listening. They try to hear the one thing that they really want to hear, but not the things that they don't want to hear. And actually, in the things that you don't want to hear, the actual truth lies, and actually your capability to actually also solve something. So, for example, when a customer asks you for a specific, like a discount, you can just run off and try to solve that one problem that you have been just transmitted. But what about just maybe asking another question? So, okay, what are you aiming for with that discount? Better prices. Well, that's the obvious answer. But is there something else behind it? Why do you need this better price? What is wrong with the original price? Can be another answer. Or even better, just ask what you're trying to solve for. Because that shows that you're not just trying to be a gopher. That's a beautiful word when the internet started. Gopher means somebody that just goes for something and tries to solve something very, very quickly, but you're actually trying to understand. And maybe, by the way, there's a different way to solve it. And that shows then also your counterpart, you have actively listened and you try to understand what they do and want to do. Empathy also builds trust and loyalty, right? It makes you way more authentic. And it doesn't, by the way, mean that you're being soft, right? The authenticity just builds trust with customers, right? Because they know that when you talk to you, you will also hold to your word. And by the way, that is not seen that often. And by the way, you can use the same thing not only with customers, but with teams. I use it quite often with my team, for example, when they tell me, for example, somebody says, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't make the call because my kid is ill and we have to rush to the doctor." Well, the immediate answer they get from me is always family first in capital letters. Family is first, no matter what. We are not holding people's life in our hands. We hold just in quotation marks business. So take care of your family, do what is important to you right now, and then we can come back to business. And I think I can tell you that goes a long way because I mean it, but I also employ it for myself, right? So it's not just something that I give to somebody, but I also take the same right for myself. The other point that I find important with empathy is put yourself in their shoes. Try to understand why the other person is reacting in a certain way, why they're talking in a certain way, why they are demanding what they are demanding. Is there maybe a good reason to it? And by the way, that good reason can go totally against your goals, but also doing things that might be going against your goals can be a good thing. It will strengthen your position with the customer in the future because you have solved something that is important for them. That is a favor that you can always ask for again. And bear in mind when a customer, when you know that a customer is going through big financial strain or they have patent problems, etc., they might really not be in the position to make bigger commitments right now, or even a commitment at all. Pushing for it will take you absolutely nowhere, but being there, being with them in the hard times will definitely make you their friend in the much better times, and there will be better times, 100% for sure. Empathy across cultures is a very, very important topic. And I have the big blessing in my job, for example, that I see very different cultures, right? I have Germany on the one hand side, and even in Germany itself, you have different cultures. Or different ways of communication, I would clearly say. Then I have the Middle East and Africa, and trust me, there is a humongous difference. And I actually love that. Such a beautiful experience to see really how you need to transmit a message differently in one place than another. And for example, Africa again, especially South Africa, is well, probably a little bit more like our northern European cultures and the way that they react. But it's important that you really tone into also how empathy is being perceived and how empathy is being handled in each one of those countries or cultures that you're dealing with. And bear in mind, culture does not mean country. Culture means anybody that you talk to, they can have a completely different empathy and skill set on that side. Most importantly, empathy is not just a trait that you have, you can actually train it. And I encourage you to do it because it make your life just better, right? When you're empathetic, you take things also a little bit easier because, yeah, well, I understand they're having a tough time and not just, why can't they do this right now? Just be really focusing on that and start, in my humble opinion, really with active listening. I think this is something that is super important. Listen without interrupting, actually, something that I work on for myself quite often, right? I have this tendency to say, I have this one great idea I really want to transmit. Just listen. Just listen, then think, and then answer. The good old sentence of you have two eyes and two ears for a good reason and just one mouth. Apply it, right? It's not always easy, but it's a thing that you can train very easily every single day. I said at the beginning, empathy is not just about being soft. It's you can still make a statement, you can still be strong, you can still say no. And we talked before about the 50 shades of no, but it is really trying to understand why certain things come your way, how they come your way, and how you can solve them best. And really, it all starts by listening and do it more often. It will give you a lot of joy. And I'm looking forward to hear your thoughts on what you're doing to be more empathetic or how you perceive empathy in general by people when you talk to them. I thank you very much. I'm looking forward to your comments and I'm looking forward to the next episode of Carsten Uncut. Thank you very much for joining and dialing in. Thank you.